Same person.
Same. Good night.
Okay. Thank you. Dedication ka ay. Oh, hello. Oh, this is okay. This is okay.
Hi.
Old friend. Thank you. Ah, Ramashiro. Old friend. Thank you. Yeah, film okay. I think okay. Film no. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Manjunath Pendekar. I'm Dean of the Dorothy F. Schmidt College of Arts and Letters. And I bring you greetings from my faculty, staff, and students to this very, very wonderful moment in the history of our university. I know how excited and happy we all are to see and hear the Apostle of Peace. The Holy Dalai Lama's visit coincides with the 10th anniversary of our Peace Studies program. We could not have asked for a better way to celebrate the achievements of our faculty, students, and our community partner, Barbara Schmidt, and the Schmidt Family Foundation. His Holiness's acceptance of the university's invitation to come to FAU has given us all a major boost to work harder and to do more for the cause of peace. Peace in the material world and also peace in the inner world. In anticipation of His Holiness's arrival, faculty, students, and other groups at FAU have presented an impressive array of academic, cultural, and other activities on multiple campuses during the last 7 days. That activity coincides with the planting of a tree by students in honor of the Holy Dalai Lama. All of us believe that this is a momentous day in the history of this university. We are humbled by the significance of the moment and are also enriched by it. I ask you to join me in celebrating it. Thank you. Now I give you John Pritchard, the interim president, who brought the Holy Dalai Lama to this campus.
Thank you so much, Manju, and good morning to all of you, especially to all of our students who are here. You are very special. To our alumni, to our faculty, to our staff, to all of the friends of Florida Atlantic University, and to our very special guest. Welcome to this historic event. It is my great privilege to welcome you here today. I'd like to begin by offering words of welcome to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet on his first visit to our area. We are deeply honored to have him here and to have the opportunity to hear his thoughts on the subject of compassion, which has been needed in all times but perhaps never more than now in these troubled times. The words of His Holiness carry special resonance for people all over the world because he truly lives his beliefs. Throughout his life, he has been the personification of values that people of goodwill everywhere subscribe to, regardless of their individual religious beliefs. He has said that all major religious traditions carry basically the same message, and that message is a message of love, a message of compassion, and a message of forgiveness. The important thing is they should be part of our daily lives. In this age of instant communication and news around the clock, it's easy for us as individuals to feel overwhelmed by the rush of world events and feeling powerless to affect them in any way. And yet the Dalai Lama tells us that with realization of one's own potential and self-confidence in one's abilities, one can indeed build a better world. Today we'll take a step in that direction by listening with open hearts and with open minds to a person who is a living example of all the good that can be accomplished in this world by one person, a person with courage, a person with conviction to raise his voice for peace. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama.
Good morning, everybody. So this hall with light. So for me, it's much better. I can see the audience faces. Sometimes it's in dark. I cannot see the faces of the audience. Then sometimes I feel I just talking to nobody. or something in the dark, or maybe talking to some ghost. And then all my sort of talk, not prepared, but spontaneous. So for that, seeing the audience face, then I felt there's something we are really talking to human being. That of course, almost I think among the audience, nobody is go to sleep. So if some cases, when I give some teaching, long hours, lectures, long hours, then some old people go to sleep. Then I felt, oh, no use to talk like that. So here, you see, everybody used to see, usually, you see, everybody very, very attentive. So I am very happy. This kind of arrangement is, I think, proper for me. Very good. And then also the Indian, the person who brought this hot water, Indian, you mentioned, from Karnataka. So Karnataka, a state where major portion of Tibetan settlers there, over 40,000, and also the biggest, some of the biggest sort of monastic institution is built there. About 1,000, about I think nearly 10,000 monks and nuns is getting study. So I am very, very pleased. Then I always describe myself as a messenger of India. There are some reasons. Firstly, I am Buddhist. Buddhism comes from India. And particularly, we are the student of the Nalanda tradition. I think first century, then next, I think 7th, 8th centuries, the Nalanda institution remain, I think, best sort of learning center. Buddhist study, and perhaps at that time some other Indian academic subject like that. So actually, you see, in Tibet, the person who introduced Buddhism in Tibet was one of the top master of that Nalanda institution in 8th century, Shantarakshita. So in my mind, certain sort of views, certain ideas, is actually according these Nalanda masters sort of thought. So, and then my talk, compassion, love, is actually the real basis of non-violence. Non-violence is not out of the indifferent or no engagement or out of fear. No, that's not non-violence. Non-violence is respect others' right. And instead of harming, take serious concern about others' well-being. Then deliberately restrain harming others. That's non-violence. Non-violence is not just a mere absence of violence, but a certain sort of strong motivation and self-confidence. You see, there is opportunity to harm, yet restrain, because respect their right and consider they also just like ourselves. So that's non-violence. So the non-violence is 1,000 years old India's tradition. Then second, my sort of commitment is promotion of religious harmony. That also India's tradition. India, I think more than 2,000 years, almost 3,000 years, the different religion different sort of tradition, grown within India. So India's own homegrown different religious tradition live together. And then eventually tradition from outside India, like Christianity, Judaism. I think earlier, perhaps I think at the same time, also the Zoroastrian from Persia, the Parsi population. Now in India, very few, about 100,000, but settled very well. You see, they carry their tradition, 1,000 years, like that. So then Islam, all these, you see, they are not homegrown religion, but come from outside, but equally remain or lived in India, also equally. So religious sort of pluralism, 1,000 years, you see, India practiced there. So I often is telling my Indian friend, the ahimsa, based on compassion, or non-violence based on compassion, then religious harmony. These two things are India's tradition. Now that still, of course, occasionally, some pocket, you see some problems of fighting due to religious sort of belief and some other sort of negative things there. But overall picture of India, still these two traditions very much alive. So therefore, I consider myself, when I visit different places, talk with people, perhaps some people may feel, oh, these sort of nice idea is come from Dalai Lama's brain. No, these are 1,000-year-old India's tradition. So some Indians a little bit stupid, but basically India is a really wonderful nation. So I'm proud, you see, to consider myself as a messenger of India. Like that. So in any way, so I'm very happy, you see, be here and talk, share with people. Now at the beginning, now firstly let me sit comfortable, or rather Indian style. And usually I just say, because of chapel service. Slipper, right? Oh. So that's much easier to remove. But because today I'm leaving, tonight is a long journey to Germany, Frankfurt, then to India. So I already prepare this shoe. Now comfortable. Firstly, of course, I very much appreciate your invitation. And also I very much appreciate with this sort of today, with connection with my visit, you spend, or you carry some program about peace. It's so wonderful. You take peace is something very serious. So I very much appreciate. Sometime in Australia, one occasion, with my visit, their local, I think this education as a group, they carry some sort of program of course, lecture or thesis or these things. And beside that, they call Peace Week. So in the street also you see some banners. And they, 1 week, you see, they carry all sort of the peaceful sort of movement like that. So I very much appreciate. Thank you. Then, whenever I talk, I always make clear. Speaker here, nothing special, or nothing stranger, just one human being. And to me, the audience also is the same human brothers, sisters, no differences. Of course, different language, different culture, different races. These are secondary. Fundamentally, we are human beings. So emotionally, mentally, physically, we are same. So because same emotion, my sort of desire or my sort of feeling and your feeling, basically same. Occasionally, there is some negative emotion, such as anger, irritation, or attachment, or fear, suspicion. You occur these things, and me too. Same. On the other hand, we also have same sort of potential of compassion. Compassion is the real seed of inner peace. That also we all have same potential, because one simple reason: we all come from our mother. According to Indian tradition, some stories say, or certain sort of masters is born through lotus. So sometimes I jokingly telling people, such sort of master, born from lotus, so they may have more compassion towards lotus rather than a human being. So for that reason, I think we are fortunate. We're born from our mother. So we have the sort of more sort of natural sort of feeling, towards mother, more intimacy, and the practical more connection, and practically also without mother's care, we cannot survive. So our life starts under tremendous others' affection. So this body starts that way. So even today, superficially feel I'm independent. I can manage myself. I don't need any other sort of help or affection. This is wrong. But deep inside our body, still, very much appreciate others' affection. Person who surrounded more affection, more compassion, then body function was much better, much healthier. Mental function also much better. And a person who surrounded cold, or worse things, hostile, remain constant fear, suspicion. Very bad for our health, very bad for our mind. So, because our life starts from sort of mother's affection, so this body, till death, this body very much appreciate with others' affection. So now, in order to receive affection from other, first you must show them. It is absolutely illogical. Expect friendship or good good affection, friendship from other, but you show them a negative. It's illogical. Firstly, you must show them genuine human love, compassion, respect. Then there is greater chance to respond similar way. Some cases, I fail when I passing through a street. Usually, no matter what other people, I mean, without knowing the other, I always smile. So long, human being, always smile. So when I smile, usually, the other side also, most cases, either nod or smile. Occasionally, and particularly some young lady, when I smile, they felt, oh, this person is something almost exploiting me, that kind of attitude. So I think my smile, instead of bring peace of mind or happiness, but I think my smile brings on their mind more fear or doubt. That's a very exceptional case. Otherwise, whenever I show my sincerity, affection, compassion, consider as a same human being, then the response is very good. Even poor animal, if we show them, like a cat, when we show them sincere sort of affection, then they respond accordingly. If you have some different motivation, try to catch, and feeding, and they know, that person's sort of feeding is not sincere motivation, but some other. So even if these animals also have the capacity to know the other's motivation. So appreciation of kindness, warm-heartedness, affection, all species of mammals have, I think, the same sort of appreciation. Except, I have still, it's a big question, like a mosquito and some very small sort of insect, I don't think they have the ability to appreciate others' kindness. I don't think. The reason, some occasion, one time in Oxford, I give some talk, and some Oxford professors, scientists, or some professors, in front line, in front seat. And I asked them this question. The brain, up to which level then have the capacity to appreciate others' kindness? So no answer. So still I want to ask you, so what level the brain size develop the ability to appreciation of others' kindness? So therefore, these some small insect, that's the exception. But otherwise, all mammals, if you show them kindness, affection, they also respond accordingly. So we want a friend, we want a friendship, and also we want to smile. Sometimes I meeting some people, they hardly no smile, then time difficult to pass. Almost as you feel burdened. If the other shows human feeling, then ask, go, without any problem. like that. So I think genuine smile is, I think, one unique thing, unique quality. Perhaps some monkey may have the ability, but otherwise, the smile is, I think, one of the unique gifts of a human being. So that gift, I think, much better to utilize. Then you show some supposed to see the dignity, part of dignity or holiness, and not smile. I think that's foolish, isn't it? I think even those people who really remain like that, that person also need others' affection, isn't it? So like that, in any way, smile is some of our unique thing. How to bring smile. Oh, of course, there are different varieties of smile. Some sarcastic smile, isn't it? Some diplomatic smile. These smiles bring, instead of sort of satisfaction or joyful, but even suspicion or doubt or fear. So genuine smile, that is really very nice, genuine smile, without any expectation, right? Like that. Oh, what was that? So, compassion from our birth, from our mother, we all have that same experience. So that means we all have same potential to develop more, more, how to say, stable, compassionate heart. Now here, compassion, when I use the compassion, firstly, I think you should know the compassion, sometimes usually it's some sort of understanding compassion, some kind of pityness, some person or some animal passing through painful experience, then some kind of feeling, concern. But at that time, that concern, you a little bit superior, and the other one inferior. Then some kind of a sense of concern. But that's pity, not that. Genuine sort of compassion, sense of concern with respect, and recognize equal right. My right, their right. I have the right to overcome suffering. They also have the right to overcome suffering. So, with basis of that understanding, and develop sense of concern. Now here, again, I think two levels. One, mainly biological factor. As I mentioned, you see those mammals whose birth or whose survival is from their mother. Even birds from egg of the mother, like that. And their survival entirely depend on the other's care. So, when I was very young in Lhasa, occasionally there is some swan. Swan. Some swan, yellow swan. Ducks, I think ducks. They usually use it in their nest in a high rock. And then Podala, you see, there are some because of the hole, very high. So usually you see that yellow duck, you see nesting in these holes. I also noticed in Ladakh, the same duck, And also the same pattern, they nesting in very high rock, mountain.
Geese, man.
Geese, then geese on. I don't know. So they that yellow color. So sometimes we Tibetan refer them the reincarnation of monk, previous monk, but a little bit sort of naughty. So next life a bird, but still yellow bird. So, my point is, you see, when they, what's the day?
When the eggs hatch.
Eggs hatch. Then they have to go water some pond. So they, from that high sort of say, high place, rocks or potala, the mother used to just push out, then fell. A short moment, faint. So usually, then some eagles or crow or even in some cases dogs eating. So later, you say, I request some of the people who look after, you see, the potala, different part of potala. So I ask them, please collect when you see the chick come, collect, and then brought to Nobulinga. There's some pond there. So when they collect the chick, sometimes 8, 10, like that, you see, when they brought that chick in because of sira,
Like a kind of a basket.
A basket. The mother from Padala up to Nobulinga almost walking with that basket. And the father, little distance fly, then wait, again go fly, wait. The mother almost walk. So dear, their youngster. And then also, human level, one occasion my long flight, long flight, in the business class, is where usually I stay. So there are one couple, not old, I think 30 or like that, quite young sort of couple. They have 2 children. One, I think, 6, 7 year old. One, quite small. Then, at the beginning, both parents look after these 2 children. The elder one, manageable, but the younger one, very difficult to manage. Then, at the beginning, both parents, you see, taking care. Then, midnight, the father just asleep. Mother, whole night, you see, carrying that is the child. Child still run here and there. And the mother goes like that. The next morning, I noticed mother's eye very red. So, these, because of the shows, the mother's affection is so strong. Bad affection necessary because of active care. Without motivation, emotional level, certain sort of force. Without that, that kind of energy will not come. That kind of sort of, because of active care will not come. So therefore, biologically, those mammals whose life entirely early period, whose life entirely depend on others' care, then the affection come, love, compassion, there. That's biological. Then second level, using that as a seed or basis. Then utilize our awareness, reasoning, our intelligence. So how nice that kind of affection, that kind of compassion, how useful. With fuller knowledge, even one's own physical health, that kind of affection is something highly so useful. So knowing these things, and then family level or community level, even global level, many man-made disaster actually happen because of lack of that. So therefore, now here I think the topic, compassion, is pillar of the world peace. So the genuine peace must come through inner peace. Without inner peace, a genuine, lasting world peace is impossible. Sometimes it's peace temporarily out of fear. Sometimes happen, but that's not real peace. During Cold War, the nuclear weapons, both sides ready to shoot, and because of fear and what you call deterrence, you see, brings some peace. But that peace out of fear, not genuine peace. But genuine peace must develop out of compassion, out of love. So love and compassion brings inner peace. So through inner peace, genuine lasting world peace can be achieved. So in any way, compassion, one level, as a biological. The second level, out of awareness, out of reasoning. That means with help of human intelligence, they'll further develop human compassion. Now here are big differences. The first level of compassion is very limited and also biased and oriented others' attitude. So that kind of compassion can go only your friend. Those people who kind to you. And that kind of limited, biased compassion is you cannot extend towards your enemy or neutral people. Particularly enemy, instead of compassion, but wishing something bad for them, or anger. So now, through using our intelligence, reasoning, and awareness, benefit of compassion, or necessity of that compassion for because of every aspect, then deliberately try to further develop, extend. Now that not oriented others' attitude, but rather person. In case of human being, towards the person. Animal as well is a disregard their appearance or their attitude, but keep genuine sense of concern for their well-being. So that's unbiased. And also not mixed with attachment. Attachment towards your friend. Attachment cannot go towards your enemy. So the second level of compassion is unbiased and also objective. The previous one, this person very kind to me, so I love them. But second kind level of love is even enemy, very, very harming to you, very negative to you. However, these also human being, a human case, human being, or sentient being, they also deserve love. And also with knowing when enemy created some irritation, anger, even increasing that irritation. When other one, you see, irritated to you, if you try to deliberately keep compassion to them, then, you see, your own mental level will not cause of that much agitation, even agitated at the initially. But remember, these also human beings, how ignorance, how sort of also pity. Then you see your mental side much more calm. You gain much benefit. Because of others' attitude, if you lose anger, hatred, that anger, hatred itself will not harm on them. But immediately, hatred, anger immediately destroy your inner peace. And days and weeks go continuously, very bad for our health. So knowing these things, deliberately try to keep compassion towards your troublemaker. That we human being can do. The other species of mammals, you see, cannot do that. So that's one human sort of greatness. So our unique sort of good thing. So that, I think all major religious tradition, you see, talks about love and compassion. I think that level. So more precise sort of, because analyze, then there are variety of love, compassion. So basically, I think all, now for example, according theistic religion, one time, my Muslim friend, you see, he mentioned to me, a Muslim, a genuine Muslim practitioner, you see, must extend love towards entire creature of God, Allah. So there's a reason. So same creator, we entire human being and entire sort of world, according to that belief, created by God, one source. So God must be some reason to create these things. And our enemy also created by God, there must be some reason. So therefore, obviously, God also taught us practice of love and practice of love and compassion, forgiveness. So in order to practice of because I practice of forgiveness and tolerance, we need some people who create some problems. So God deliberately created that. So you see, thinking that way, you can extend genuine love, respect towards your enemy. This also is deliberately created by God. And then non-theistic, of course, the law of causality. If you do something good, good result will come to you, to oneself. If you harm other people, the bad result you have to face. So, by nature, we want good thing. Do not want bad thing or suffering. So if you commit harming other, you committed the causes or conditions of suffering. So since we do not want suffering, so we must avoid the causes or conditions of the suffering. So knowing that, then deliberately, you see, they try to reduce anger, hatred towards troublemaker. So once we develop genuine compassion, genuine karuna towards our enemy, then you really develop real inner strength, inner peace. So there are two levels of compassion. So now, these, as I mentioned earlier, universal. Religious people or non-believer, say, we have same sort of potential and same capacity. Only sort of, only thing is, we have to know these things, and we must pay more attention about our inner value. Then your health improve, the atmosphere in your family improve, and the community also improve. As I mentioned earlier, world peace through inner peace first start individual level. Not without making effort or start from one individual. World peace from sky, impossible. From United Nations, impossible. So peace must start. Peace must build by people. People means combination of individual. So start individual. So I start as much as I can, according to this Indian tradition, non-violence, based on compassion and religious harmony. So I can make some contribution. So similarly here, perhaps I have a few thousand people here, each individual, try to develop inner peace. Just, you see, using our awareness or our intelligence, and then examine our neighbors, those neighbors who often, you see, quarrel, anger, or jealousy, they never get peace. Those family, very close and compassionate, their family much happier. And particularly those children in the family where parents always quarrel, always accuse each other, blame each other, and bad face, the children suffer most. The other family, they're really full of compassionate sort of atmosphere. Their children, their physical growth much better, their study much better. So these are, we do not need to study for complicated philosophy. Just look, examine, objectively. And then most important, scientists, now particularly medical scientists, now they begin to realize for physical health, reduce blood pressure, and reduce stress, anxiety, fear. These are much depend on our outlook or our emotion. So here they now begin to realize more calm mind is very, very important. In order to develop or create calm mind, not thinking, thinking fully alert our mind, and at the same time, calm mind. That's now the point. Usually, you see, in order to develop calm mind, we just forget the problem and take some holiday or picnic, a short moment, 1 week, you see, forget, and alcohol, or just, you see, seeing some pictures or some place like that, some sports. When you return your home, or feel very, then something,
Feeling down. Feeling down. There's a Tibetan expression saying that as if the sun is set.
No, go outside, a few hours, very joyful. Then, look, time, now return to home or office, then feel a little dark. So that's unwise. That's very temporary method. Wise method is look the problem itself. Develop positive attitude. The more problem, you feel good, more challenge, better opportunity to practice, to show my inner strength. Isn't it? There's no need holiday, no need picnic, isn't it? And then here also is I want to share with you, I think usually, and particularly those materialistic sort of society, I think you just seeking mental joyfulness out of through sensorial way. Seeing some play or including television, and through eye sensory, seeing sensory, brings some satisfaction. And music through ear sensory brings some satisfaction. And taste and smell. Including, I think, sex. You see, through sensorial level brings some inner satisfaction. So these sins, you see, that kind of sort of inner sort of joyfulness entirely depend on external means. Very temporary. Other hand, thinking the reality and thinking about compassion, more familiarization of meditation. Meditation means familiarization. Of course, meditation, there are variety of different kinds. One we call samadhi, single-pointed mind, meditation. Another, analytical meditation. For me, that's much effective. Of course, firstly, single-pointed mind, not easy to achieve. And for me, my excuse is I have no time to practice that. So that's my excuse. But I really wish, you see, to spend at least 1 year, 2 years, because of secluded area, completely isolated, then single practice of single-pointed mind. That also there's no guarantee whether I can achieve or not. So you see, for me, analytical meditation is very useful. As soon as I wake up in early morning, usually I got up 3:30. So wake up, as soon as I wake up, as a Buddhist monk, I recite one shloka, Nagarjuna's word, praising to Buddha. I recite that, and then making shape of my mind. Rest of the day, my mind should be meaningful, meaningful thinking, and a meaningful life. And as a practitioner of altruism, from early morning, dedicate my body, speech, mind, well-being to others. Because 사선 종을 전부다 난것인도 따와요. 선제 빠도 매봐요. 나만이 주시한 쇼치교.
For example, reflecting upon the sentiments expressed in the great Indian classics like Shantideva's text, where he says that just as the great elements of the nature, such as earth, water, and so on, may I be of service to all beings and to be utilized by all beings in whatever way they wish.
So, the former president of India, Abdul Kalam, a Muslim, great scientist, he very fond of these verses. So, some occasion in talk, you see, he refers to this. And one time, you see, my sort of audience is with him. He also, you see, he showed me one Shantideva's book and showing you see, these verses. He told me this verse is very, very helpful to him. like that. So that's analytical meditation from early morning. That's very useful. So in any way, so through training of mind, mainly analytical meditation, knowing the reality, knowing the fact, and from the fact, from the reality, what's best way to bring inner peace, to bring maximum benefit to oneself, not relying on external fact, but try to right view, even negative situation come through. Utilize that. There's Tibetan saying,
there's an expression in Tibetan tradition which says turning adversities into precious opportunities.
Now one example. Now last 50 years, we become refugee, now homeless. But if we look only that angle, then more sort of frustration, more worry, sadness. But if you look from another angle, that sort of difficult sort of situation also brings some new opportunity. Now, for example, after I come to India, new opportunity, meeting with variety of people from different religious tradition and also different professions, and particularly scientists and a variety of people. And me personally, when I was in Tibet, I have to follow more protocol or formality. But I don't like that. From childhood, I really don't like that. So after I got India, refugee, then I really got some kind of freedom. I don't care these formality, these things. So sometimes I think some Japanese friend, so at the beginning, they rather it's a very formal way. Then I immediately start some jobs, some jokes is that chop good. Then they are sort of kind of icy sort of face, then melted. So it is much better, isn't it? We are human beings after all. This is nothing. This is Kasuta. I think too much formality also, in a way, part of hypocrisy. Isn't it? It is hypocrisy, a kind of lie. So, be honest, truthful. You must show your nature and receive their nature. Some kind of sort of formality is actually additional barrier. Remove that, then you can see human to human. Much better, isn't it? Like that way. So in any way, so through inner peace, not relying on sensorial medium,
Stimulus.
then that inner joyfulness is much stronger. That really brings inner strength. So through that way, then you can be much sort of stronger face challenge. If you too much rely on sensorial, then some positive things come, happy. Negative things come, unhappy. Not relying on external thing, but relying on your own good quality, inner value, then that joyfulness really will lasting joyful. And that really getting inner strength, self-confidence. And through that way, you can conduct honestly, transparently, right? So these are, I think sometimes animals better than you human being. We're too much sort of clever here. So that creates our own self-create cocoon. Then eventually you feel loneliness. All the billions of people there, but you feel just alone. Why? Your attitude is wrong. Your mental thinking is wrong. Like that. So now world peace, first start family level, and that also start individual level. So think oneself and change world. The initiative must come through individual. So ultimately, individual is the key factor. So that's all about my talk. Now some questions. Thank you. Some questions. Thank you. Sit. Some questions. So. If time permits, after this written question, if time permits, I would like to get question from directly. If you see the some microphone there. Yes, start.
What can one individual do to promote world peace?
I mentioned already. Second. I think the simple thing is, without changing inner world, just you see shouting world peace. Has not much meaning. Or make some more disturbance for pitching, and release pitching for world peace. Silly, no meaning.
Do you believe that the world can ever become a truly peaceful place?
I think possible. I think a possibility is there. I think much depends. The real troublemaker is a human being, not the millions of these different species of mammals or birds. Like even tiger, looks very terrible, but they, I think 1,000 years they remain like that. So more nature balance, like that. But we human beings, basically we are, as the vegetarian, suppose, is judge our teeth. Our teeth fit for vegetable, not as the killing animal. And our nails, not like tiger. This only for scratching. Not for you see catch something. So the other hand, you see these eagles or hawks. By nature, they're equipped to kill other animals. And even small cat, they equipped that way. So these are the non-vegetarian. Rabbits, deers, these are vegetarian. So body equipment, we belongs vegetarian. So suppose we are very gentle, but it become most troublemaker on this planet, isn't it? I think so long we human beings remain on this planet, I think some form of trouble always there. So here now important is dialogue, spirit of dialogue. Peace does not mean no longer any conflict. Conflict there, bound to happen. Therefore, we need peaceful resolution, peaceful method. dialogue. In order to carry real dialogue, the important element is respect the other and willing to listen their grievance. Then try to find mutually agreeable solution. That's the way of dialogue. So the problem there, till we human beings remain on this planet, some problem will remain. So we need some non-violent method, effective method. That's a proper method. Using force, you may solve some problem, but it creates another problem. So something like strong pill, it may work in some illness, but its side effect immense. So Iraq War, motivation is good. Oh, my dear friend President Bush, motivation is good, aim is good, but method is wrong. So now, there's so many complications now there. Like that.
Is there ever a justification for violence? Justification. Is there ever a justification for violence?
Theoretically speaking, yes. Violent or non-violent is just a method. So method is not important, but goal and motivation, these two things are more important. But the violence is some kind of unpredictable. Its very nature is unpredictable. Once you start violence, even though your motivation is using limited violence, but it often becomes out of control. And also, violence comes out of negative emotion. So, using force, control their physical, not their mind. So, more harm, I think, exactly now happening. Immediately after the September 11th event happened, many occasions I express, or actually the 11th or 12th, I wrote a letter to President Bush as my close friend. So I expressed my sort of sadness and condolence, and also I mentioned, I hope for this problem, I hope through non-violent way, countermeasure, through non-violent way, I express. And at that time, I mentioned, I expressed, I really felt, if the measure for that tragedy goes wrong, then after some time, 10 bin Laden, and after that, 100 bin Laden may multiply. Like that, I mentioned. So it seems now, because the city of violence, one person killed, at least his or her relative, 5. There are 5 multiply another 15 or 20. So, physical control, easier. Control hatred, anger, very difficult. Only through reconciliation, love, compassion, genuine respect, willingness to listen their view. That's the only way to change their mental attitude. Then negative mind can control through that way.
The justification.
So theoretically, there can be some justification, but practical level, I think much better, much safer, avoid not using violence. Then? So here I often you see telling, in order to build real peace, long-lasting peace. Yesterday you are there. I mentioned, the external disarmament, the internal disarmament. Firstly, internal disarmament. Reduce hatred, suspicion, these things. Then eventually external disarmament possible. Then as I mentioned earlier, spirit of dialogue must promote. And through kindergarten, I think we should train our younger generation. The only appropriate method to solve problem is dialogue. That I think we must sort of cultivate in their mind. Usually, when we face some challenge, our immediate response in our mind is how to solve this by force. That's a mistake. So whenever we saw some sort of dialogue, some conflict, our natural sort of response should be how to solve this through dialogue. So I often use it expressing the 20th century becomes century of violence, century of bloodshed. According to some historian, over 200 millions of people killed in that century. In war, including civil war, like that. But problems still remain there. A lot of damage, a lot of suffering. So now, this 21st century should be century of dialogue. So that's our prayer, and we must make effort to achieve that. Then next.
Do you believe the prophecies of the Mayan Indians in 2012? If so, what do you believe will occur on that day?
No. People. I think because some people describe me as all-knowing. So that's because of the ridiculous, right?
Ridiculous.
I do not know what will happen in tomorrow. So naturally, logically, not all-knowing. So according to my own experience, I'm very, very skeptical to some people who predict in long future. Let us see. Now, just only one year left.
2 more years. 2 more years.
2 years. 2010, 2011. Then, if 2012 something happened, then of course we will develop more respect to that person. Now, if it not happen, then that person then seems quite expert, make himself disgrace. One time, I think more than 30 years ago, one time I noticed Indian newspaper, national newspaper. You see, one sadhu, one person, you see, who claimed he have the capacity to sit on water. So I think he sold some tickets. Then you see the organizer, because they prepared, arrange one big tap survey.
A tank.
Or tank. And then he come, timber.
He drowned.
He
drowned.
Oh, he drowned. But he already got some money. So I think his whole aim is selling ticket. then he don't care. Some disgrace, it doesn't matter. But some prediction, sometimes quite strange. So we need some explanation, these things. But usually, this kind of prediction, I don't think. But better let us wait.
Final
Yes,
question.
final.
What do you think that the emerging partnership between scientists and Buddhist scholars has to offer in terms of improving compassionate action in day-to-day life?
I do one thing. Firstly, I must say, I must make distinction. Not Buddhism whole. Precisely, we must make, usually I make three parts. Buddhist science, Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist religion. So we are dealing with scientists, modern scientists, with Buddhist science. And to some extent, some cases, Buddhist concept, like quantum physics, the absence of independent existence, shunyata, patitsamuppada. You see these concepts, one Indian nuclear physicist, one time, he expressed to me, I think more than 15 years ago, in one occasion in Delhi. Raja Khasa, what means Raja? Raja Raman. Now no longer. He once, he told me, one meeting, he expressed to me, he found the concept of quantum theory in some Nagarjuna's sort of writing. He found essence of similar sort of idea or theory. So, in philosophy, some cases there's some connection, but otherwise just Buddhist science. Buddhist science, external things and internal thing. So as far as external thing is concerned, modern science is much developed, wonderful. You see, we learned many useful things from modern science. Then as far as internal science, inner science, about mind, about emotion, how to deal with these emotions. Then Eastern philosophy, Eastern sort of, the tradition, Eastern science, the Indian sort of ancient sort of thought about mind, or concept of samadhi, vipassana. These are, in order to explain these things, the explanation about mind, very detailed. And particularly in Buddhism. So because, you see, those religion is based on law of causality, ultimately, they both joyfulness and painful, both ultimately lead with our mind, emotion. So in order to reduce these negative emotion, in order to increase positive emotion, we have to know the mind itself, or emotion itself. So therefore, naturally, detailed explanation about mind, about emotion, there. And also make distinction, grosser level of mind, more subtle level, because of that, very subtle level. So these are quite useful to modern scientists, especially those brain scientists. So last more than now 20 years, you see, we have regular sort of contact with scientists. So mutual benefit, like that. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Holiness, and thank you for your untiring efforts to promote peace in the world. You've brought us a truly inspirational message this morning, one that we can use to re-energize our own commitment to our treatment of our fellow human being. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the many members of the university community, including our students, faculty, and staff, who have devoted themselves to the mission of planning and presenting Peace Week and also this event. Your Holiness, we also have a tradition here at Florida Atlantic University, and as a token of our appreciation, the university would like to present you with two gifts. The first is a book that was written to commemorate the 10th anniversary of our Peace Studies program, an initiative that was inspired in great measure by the example of your lifelong dedication to peace. And the second is this certificate, which duplicates the wording that will appear on a plaque at the base of a tree that our students will plant on this campus to serve as a living reminder of your visit to us. Thank you. We truly hope that when you look at these gifts, you'll remember your time here with pleasure. And we also hope that you'll return to speak to us again in the future. Thank you so very much for being with us on this very historic occasion today. Your Holiness.